War Dogs, Episode 4, El Perro de Guerra. The sun baked the borderlands in a syrupy haze, the heat shimmering above the cracked pavement of Tijuana's main drag. Tony Karsten stepped off the bus with nothing but a duffel bag and a fractured soul. His boots hit Mexican soil for the first time, though he'd spent years walking through hell. A Rhodesian contract behind him, a Vietnam past burned into his bones. Now this. Neon signs flickered even in the daylight. Girls in miniskirts smoked cigarettes outside cantinas, eyeing him like a fresh card on the table. A military truck crept down the avenue, two soldiers standing in the back, rifles loose in their arms. The street was alive, spit and swagger, death and tequila. It smelled like gasoline, sweat, and meat on the grill. Welcome to Tijuana. Tony walked through it, silent and sharp-eyed, a man out of place, but not out of depth. He found the contact easily enough. A wrinkled note, a name, a corner to wait on. By nightfall, two men picked him up in a matte black Buick. No names, no conversation. They drove him through winding hills where the city gave way to estates guarded by iron gates and stone-faced men. The house was palatial, Spanish tile, towering palms, ceramic saints watching from niches in the walls. Inside, air conditioning hummed over the click of heels and low salsa music. Women lounged on red leather couches in silk robes. Gold-plated revolvers hung from the hips of men who didn't need to speak. All eyes turned as Tony was led into a private room. At the far end sat Senor Rodriguez, gray-streaked hair, dark eyes that read people like books. His shirt was linen, his demeanor calm. He sipped mezcal and nodded once. "You're Tony Karsten?" he asked. Tony said nothing. Rodriguez leaned forward. "How many Vietnamese you kill?" Tony met his eyes. "Not enough, sir." Rodriguez laughed, then smiled like a man who liked knowing the price of things. Senor Rodriguez told Tony, "I know that you fought with one of my relatives in Africa." Rodriguez laughed again and patted Tony on the back. "I want to show you something, Tony. Please, follow Angel and Pepito here. I want to make sure this is not, how they say in America, a wild goose chase." "This one betrayed me," he said casually. "Talked to the wrong people. Took something that wasn't his. Now he dies." He didn't elaborate. He didn't need to. The pistol was warm in Tony's hand. Tony didn't hesitate. He stepped forward, raised the weapon, and placed a single round into the man's forehead. A loud gunshot echoed. The body slumped. The guards, Angel and Pepito, didn't flinch. Rodriguez nodded with calm approval. "You'll do." They gave Tony his first job that weekend, escort detail for a meeting at El Callejón, a smoky dive bar built into the crumbling bones of old Tijuana. It reeked of tequila and cheap perfume. Strippers danced without music. Fat men in leather jackets argued over dice. Tony stood near the entrance, one hand on his belt, watching. Rodriguez arrived with his usual entourage, clean shirts, dirty business. The mood was tense. Another cartel wanted a deal, or maybe to start a war. Tony saw them before they moved. A glint, a twitch, then everything exploded. A man with a shotgun fired from behind the bar. Screams tore the air. A bottle shattered against Tony's shoulder. He hit the floor, rolled, came up firing. One shot to the chest, another through the neck. He grabbed Rodriguez and pulled him down behind an overturned table. The firefight lasted seconds. When it ended, 6 men were dead. The bar was half burned, and Rodriguez was still breathing, thanks to Tony. Back at the compound, Rodriguez sat with his sleeves rolled and a cigar glowing between his fingers. "You saved my life," he said simply. Tony shrugged. "You hired me." Rodriguez laughed, a deep, gravelly sound. "From now on, you don't take orders from anyone but me." He handed Tony a tailored gray jacket, a polished holster, and a thick gold chain. "You'll be my sombra," Rodriguez said. "My shadow." Tony accepted the jacket and the role. A promotion. In the weeks that followed, Tony walked one step behind power. He stood outside hotel rooms, behind office chairs, next to piles of cash and bags of heroin and marijuana. He wore a pistol on his hip and silence on his face. Everywhere he went, the world treated him with fear or fascination. The women in Tijuana, dark-eyed, hips like weapons, watched him with quiet hunger. The men with scars and bloodied hands nodded as he passed. But at night, Tony lay awake, with the fan blowing stale air across his skin, wondering if he was still a soldier or something else. The jungle never leaves you, he thought. It just changes its name.